My name is Kevin, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So my wife needs a space for her to do all of her crafts and activities. She doesn't really have one inside the house. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this corner of the garage. You guys can see it. Let me see if I can pan around. There we go. And we're going to actually build her some temporary walls and actually have a door that can lock so the kids can't get into all of her stuff. And we'll kind of see what happens. So I've just started framing and I realized I hadn't started recording. So here's a couple of things that I'm a little worried about because this is a rental home. We can't really secure the the walls to anything permanently. So a couple of ideas I had. I might try and secure them to these ties. I don't know if these ties aren't really all that secure, but they've been there for 30 plus years, so I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. I thought about maybe putting some liquid nail on the ground, but it'd be a real pain to take out when we eventually move out of here. So I'm just gonna, I guess, give it a try. Hopefully the weight of the thing will keep it from being too unstable. I mean, I think once I'm gonna put a double top plate on, so that should help lock it into place. As well as the drywall, put drywall on the interior, and if that's not helping, if that's not strong enough, then we will maybe put some drywall on the outside, or maybe even some sheathing on the outside to kind of really lock the wall into place. But anyway, here we go. I will kind of show you what I'm doing as I'm framing. So I've got the first two walls up, and it's actually pretty stable. You can see I've got the door framed. It's going to be a 36-inch door. Header wasn't my best work, but I think it'll work fine. And the wall is actually surprisingly square. I mean, like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing, but it seems to be working pretty well. Checking with my carpenter square. It's maybe about 1/8 of an inch at a square, and I can move it around a little bit more. So I'm still slightly concerned about the walls and stuff shifting, especially after I get the sheetrock on. I don't want it to crack. So what I might end up doing actually is, you guys can see that there's a giant metal I-beam. Once I get all the walls framed, I might end up just taking some studs and running them into the top of the wall over there. Maybe put some little studs up so that I can basically just kind of wedge the stud between the I-beam and the stud over here and nail it in right here. It won't be secured or fastened anyway over there, but if it's tight enough, it'll just kind of force the whole structure to be tight, and it shouldn't move. I mean, there's going to be enough weight on here, especially with the drywall, that this thing's not going to be moving. So I actually am going to leave the bottom plate in for where the door is supposed to go. I'm just going to hang the door right on top of the bottom plate to keep the structural integrity of the wall that has the door in it. Because I think if I cut this out, it will leave this little portion of the wall just kind of flapping in the wind, and so it'll probably end up shifting quite a bit. So I'll just leave I'll just leave this bottom plate in like I have it. Forgot that the layout on this back wall wasn't the exact same as the layout on the front wall. I think I went the other direction on the front wall. So anyway, I was just lining up stud for stud, and they were coming out short, like 12 inches over here and 16 inches. The 16 inches were good back here. So then I just had to lay them out correctly on here, and that took a fair amount of time trying to get those dumb nails out and get everything realigned. But some good news, I talked to my landlord and he doesn't have any problem with me putting some construction adhesive on the ground. So I'm actually going to put some just kind of near the doorway, and that way I'll cut out that bottom plate. So it's been a few days and the subfloor adhesive has dried. I've actually cut out the door frame, the bottom plate of it anyway, and let me show you. It's not moving. See, cut it out right there. It's not moving. In fact, let's see if you guys can see this. So if I push right here, nothing happens. In fact, the only thing that happens is it wobbles this way and this way. So if I push this way, I don't know if you guys can see that. It wobbles a little bit. There you go, you can see that. But that's just because I think these trusses, these joists, kind of prevent it from wobbling towards the door. So I think once we get some drywall up, we should be able to, it should stop it from wobbling the other way. Anyway, we're gonna put up some drywall right now. Okay, I just wanted to take a quick minute and show you kind of how things are looking. I'm sure, as you can tell in the video, that I've got some gaps right here. You can see sunlight through the other side. Those are some pretty big gaps. I'm hoping I can fill that up with some putty. Over here, This corner's looking a little mangled. Hopefully I can take care of that. I've actually never drywalled before, so this is kind of a learning experience for me. For holes like right there where I missed, and right there where I missed. And what I ended up doing right here, as you can see, there's a double stud right there. It's actually only about this tall, only about that tall. I just nailed a short little piece there, so I'd have something to screw into right here, because my cuts were off. Something's out of square. This is not professional grade work at all. Come over here, you can see there's a nice big gap up in there. Oh, I never showed you guys this either. But there's this nice little corner right there. It's pretty not flat or square or anything, and that might be causing part of the problem. I'm hoping that I'll be able to fix a lot of these problems. And even if everything's not perfect, the room will still be functional. It'll still have 4 walls. It'll still have drywall on it. Everything will be covered up. It'll have a door, and that's kind of the main objective at this point, is to have a room with a door that my wife can use to come in and do her crafts, keep her things out of reach of our kids, and have just a place where she can go. So anyway, hopefully I will be able to kind of clean up a lot of these amateur mistakes that I'm making as I move forward. I'll probably just end up making more, but... Can I hold it? What do you think about the fact that we're gonna put a lock on the door?
No lock.
Yep, we should put a lock on the door to keep you out.
Nope.
Okay, so I just hung the door, and I feel like this is where all of my mistakes become very evident. So I used, let's see, let's flip this around so I can see what's going on. So I used this, what's it called, like a quick door hanger thing that I found at Home Depot. I was a little bit nervous about using shims. But as you can see, there are some mighty large gaps here. I mean, this is probably the worst right here. And the door closes. It's got a nice gap right there. I might have to get something to kind of pry this out a little bit, because that's pretty far out there. And the problem is, over here, it is tight. Which means I didn't frame the door very plumb at all. And I might not know what I'm doing with this hanger system. But the door seems relatively good. I mean, once I get a handle in, I think it'll just kind of close. And yeah, so I'm not terribly disappointed with the door. Definitely gonna have to get some trim for it, because that is a horrendously framed door. I'm rather embarrassed that it's that bad. So I thought I was in the clear with the door, but it looks like I have another issue. So the door doesn't quite want to latch. Right there, I added a doorknob, but it doesn't want to latch. So I think what the problem is that the doorknob is sitting too high. And it just doesn't quite, I don't know if you guys can see in there, but it just doesn't quite want to latch. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and take my Dremel tool and just kind of clean out this area right here up on top a little bit, and kind of see what happens. let's give that a try and see if that did anything. Haha! So, that's stuck. Now I'm just probably gonna have to trim my, I don't know what you call it, catch plate, whatever that thing is, the little metal piece that you put on the door. I'm gonna probably have to just kind of clean that up a little bit, but it's not much. I didn't have to take off much material, so I will try removing that now. Okay, let's give that a try. Nope, not quite enough. Let's give that a try. Hopefully that'll do it. Perfect. Okay, so that should do it. That worked out really well. I thought it was going to be off by a lot more based off of how out of square this door was. In the next video, I'm going to probably finish drywalling and try my hand at mudding and taping. I've literally never done that before, so I have a feeling that there's going to be a pretty steep learning curve when it comes to that. I hope you realize that all you have to do is try. I mean, you're going to make mistakes, but that's okay. Oftentimes you can fix those mistakes, and if it's a catastrophic failure, well, hopefully you can just learn from it. So far, I haven't had anything too catastrophic that I haven't been able to fix, and this is probably the single largest project that I've ever undertaken by myself. So I just hope you guys go out and try something new, experiment with stuff, and you'll learn that you're a lot better doing things than you might think. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.